Chapter 9. What do we do now, boss? Are we just going to stand by and watch them take the young master away? One of Zhou Zhenglong's subordinates asked, clearly upset. Zhou Zhenglong didn't respond. His face was filled with terror. He had felt the cold grip of death when Tian Qi pressed the dagger to his neck earlier. He was absolutely certain that if it hadn't been for Xiao Lingfeng speaking up, Tian Qi would have killed him without hesitation. A true expert. Definitely someone from the War Department. Zhou Zhenglong swallowed hard, his legs still trembling from fear. He had no doubt that if his older brother Zhou Zhenghao had been present, his entire family would have been wiped out tonight. This is big. Shao Jia was foolish. With his status, what kind of woman couldn't he get? In the whole city of Qianjiang, or even in Tianhai City, the finest women would be his for the asking. Why mess with a family connected to the War Department? He's looking for death. Zhou Zhenglong was gripped by fear. He knew the situation was out of his hands now. He needed to get back to his brother, fast, and come up with a plan. Let's go. Back to the Zhou family, quickly. Zhou Zhenglong commanded, now determined to bring in his brother Zhou Zhenghao. He might be a mere thug, but his brother was the richest man in Qianjiang. With connections and power, surely his brother could handle Xiao Lingfeng. So what if Xiao Lingfeng was from the War Department? His brother had dealt with worse. As Zhou Zhenglong was retreating, Shen Yuxuan, who had seen off Gao Weiwei, came rushing back. Worried about Xiao Lingfeng, she was stunned to see that Zhou Zhenglong was leaving, and that both Xiao Lingfeng and Zhou Jia were gone. Zhou Zhenglong, where's Xiao Lingfeng? What did you do to him? Shen Yuxuan demanded as Zhou Zhenglong was about to get into his car. Zhou Zhenglong paused, glanced at her, and smirked. Do you think I could fight someone from the War Department? He's already gone, and he took Zhou Jia with him. He even left a message for my brother to pick up Zhou Jia at Jiangpan Villa in 3 days. War Department people, huh? So powerful, our little Zhou family can't afford to cross them. But, I wonder, are you planning to get your father involved too? His tone was laced with sarcasm. While his words suggested they couldn't cross Xiao Lingfeng, he had full confidence that his brother would crush both Xiao Lingfeng and Shen Yuxuan's father. With a sneer, Zhou Zhenglong got into his car and drove off, leaving Shen Yuxuan sitting on the ground, pale and in shock. She hadn't expected Xiao Lingfeng to escape, let alone take Zhou Jia with him. From Zhou Zhenglong's words, it seemed like Xiao Lingfeng had backup, someone from the War Department. Shen Yuxuan knew well that the War Department produced strong men, and if the man Gao Weiwei had been waiting for was truly from the War Department, it would have been a joyous occasion. But now, Xiao Lingfeng had crossed a line by crippling Zhou Jia and taking him hostage. This was dangerous. No one in Qianjiang knew better than the Shen family how ruthless Zhou Zhenghao could be. Her father, Shen Qingtian, had once been a commercial prodigy in Qianjiang, and their family had long been deeply rooted in the city. But decades ago, Zhou Zhenghao had come to Qianjiang and, in just a few short years, disrupted the entire landscape, rising to become the city's most powerful figure. Zhou Zhenghao was insidious, ruthless, and unforgiving. While he had stepped back from the front lines in recent years, Zhou Jia was his only son and heir. By crippling Zhou Jia, Xiao Lingfeng had hit Zhou Zhenghao's most sensitive nerve. If Zhou Zhenghao unleashed his wrath, even Shen Qingtian wouldn't dare to face him. Shen Yuxuan shuddered at the thought of what might happen to Zhou Jia over the next 3 days. If Xiao Lingfeng kept him unharmed, there might still be hope for a resolution. But if Zhou Jia was tortured, then... Desperate, Shen Yuxuan jumped into her car and sped toward where Xiao Lingfeng was holding Zhou Jia. Meanwhile, Xiao Lingfeng had already returned to the villa with Zhou Jia. As they passed by the foot of the mountain, Xiao Lingfeng noticed Xing Feng, who had been guarding the area with a few men. Xing Feng met Xiao Lingfeng's gaze, shuddered, and quickly withdrew to his car, too frightened to even meet his eyes. Xiao Lingfeng chuckled, not bothering to care about someone like Xing Feng. What concerned him was whether the Dragon Nation's War Department would intervene. If they tried to stop him, they shouldn't expect him to back down. Back at the villa, Tian Qi woke Zhou Jie, who had fainted. As Zhou Jie opened his eyes and saw Xiao Lingfeng sitting before him, his face turned ashen. Zhou Zhenglong hadn't saved him after all. Awake? Xiao Lingfeng asked coldly, his eyes narrowing at the terrified Zhou Jie. You, Zhou Jie was petrified, unable to believe what was happening. His uncle had brought hundreds of men, and yet he was still in Xiao Lingfeng's hands. You made my daughter stay in a pigsty for 3 days, didn't you? Xiao Lingfeng asked, his voice ice cold. It wasn't me. It was my men acting on their own. Not me. Please, let me go. I'll give you any amount of money you want, just let me go, Zhou Jie begged frantically, terrified out of his mind. Xiao Lingfeng's expression grew colder. He turned to Tian Qi and said, his injuries are severe, but don't let him die. Disinfect him with alcohol. Tian Qi sneered, sure, but I doubt this piece of trash can handle it. No matter. Use our best healing medicine. He won't be allowed to die so easily, Xiao Lingfeng said indifferently. Got it, leave it to me, Tian Qi replied with a malicious grin. 2 soldiers from the War God Palace brought out a large barrel of industrial-grade alcohol. While alcohol could indeed disinfect, the searing pain it would cause, especially on open wounds, was unimaginable. Tian Qi casually kicked Zhou Jie into a filthy pigsty that had been prepared earlier, filled with mud and excrement. No! No, no, no! Zhou Jie screamed as he was thrown into the stinking pit. He was helpless, unable to fight back, and when he saw Tian Qi about to douse him in industrial alcohol, his heart nearly exploded with fear. Stop, Xiao Lingfeng. Don't torture him anymore. Stop! Shen Yuxuan shouted as she rushed into the courtyard, desperate to stop what was about to happen. Zhou Jie, seeing Shen Yuxuan, suddenly latched onto her as his last hope. Shen Yuxuan, save me. I swear, I'll never let my father retaliate. I'll never trouble your family again. I swear, just save me. Xiao Lingfeng gave Shen Yuxuan a cold glance. You're pleading for him? Before she could respond, Xiao Lingfeng signaled Tian Qi, and the next moment, the entire barrel of industrial alcohol was poured over Zhou Jie, soaking into his wounds. Ah! Zhou Jie's screams echoed through the courtyard. The pain was so excruciating that he passed out, only to wake up from the agony moments later. His desperate cries did nothing to move Xiao Lingfeng, who watched without a flicker of emotion. Xiao Lingfeng, his father is Zhou Zhenghao, the richest man in Qianjiang, with connections everywhere. You'll never escape his wrath for this. Shen Yuxuan warned, her voice trembling as she looked at Zhou Jie's pitiful state. But Xiao Lingfeng remained unmoved. He watched Zhou Jie's suffering with icy calm, then muttered, Zhou Zhenghao, is it? Let him come. And even if he doesn't come, I will find him.